Hi everyone and welcome to another build tutorial. In today's video I'm going to show you how to build a cave base. Instead of everything being step by step, I'm going to show you a variety of skills that you can use to transform a normal cave in your Minecraft world into an interesting and unique place that you can call home. I've tried to follow the layout of the cave and keep some of its features so that it looks natural rather than rebuilding the whole thing. The first thing I did was to clear out a few layers of the stone to the left of the entrance to give myself more space to work with. I'm leaving the column in the middle as it will make a nice natural feature later on and will also look as if it's providing support to the rest of the cave. Once I'm done digging, the floor in this part of the cave will be closer to the part to the side that goes down. This will make the area look a lot wider and more spacious. I'm now going to work on the walls. To give me enough room to build the crafting and enchantment areas that will be going here, I'm going to push the walls back around 3 blocks. You don't have to be accurate with where you're digging as we're going for a more natural feel with this build. Just give yourself enough room to be able to fit what you need to in there. The total length of space you'll need is 20 blocks across to build the 3 arches for the enchantment and crafting areas to go into. The diagonal arches at the sides will have a gap of 4 blocks in between each strip spruce log, while the middle arch will have a gap of 8 blocks in between. Don't worry if you have to dig out more of the stone to place these blocks. We'll be clearing out some more space shortly to create small rooms in each of the archways. Add 2 more strip spruce logs on top of the ones that you've just placed so that they're all 3 blocks high in total. Now dig 1 block into the wall next to each of the columns and clear out the stone left in the middle to create a room with flat walls. For the middle archway, dig out 3 layers of the wall in between the 2 columns. Remember to light up the cave before you start building to stop mobs from spawning. The arch on the right hand side is exactly the same as the one on the left. I'll put the seed and the location of this cave in the description if you'd like to follow exactly what I'm doing. To make the cave look neater, I'm going to remove all of the granite and diorite and replace it with stone. This is optional, of course. To create the arch, place upside down spruce stairs on the columns facing into the room, then place a spruce slab on top and a spruce plank next to this facing outwards. Add 2 more spruce planks in the middle, half a block up to finish it off. Replace the blocks next to the columns with spruce planks and add some trapdoors for detail. You can then neaten up the area above the arch by filling in any obvious holes, replacing the granite or diorite, and by smoothing out the edges. It doesn't have to be perfect though, we want it to look as natural as possible. After you've done this, fill in the ceiling inside the arch with spruce slabs and add upside down spruce stairs around the outer blocks to create a border. Add another strip spruce column in the corner to finish it off. Then place an enchantment table in the middle and surround it with 2 layers of bookshelves. You can miss out the corners and fill them in with wood to save on resources. Finally, make sure that it's well lit by adding a lantern or torches. We will now fill in the middle arch. Follow the graphic on screen to create the archway here using spruce stairs and slabs. We will then build the same arch design 2 more times to create the ceiling in this room and fill in the 2 blocks in the walls next to the columns with spruce planks. For the back wall, fill it in with stone on either side and across the top, leaving a 3 block gap in the middle. Then place 2 upside down stone stairs on either side to create a small arch. After this, we'll tidy up the walls and roof of the cave again to give it a more natural feel, and then we can move on to decorating the inside of the arch. On the left hand side, dig a hole in the middle and fill it with water to use for potion making. Then create a table using stone brick stairs and a slab and add a brewing stand on top. Repeat the table design again on the opposite side without the water this time, and then add a grindstone and a stone cutter on top. Add some lanterns or torches for lighting and then place a crafting table, a smithing table and some chests on the back wall. We can then move on to the final arch, which will be for smelting and cooking. Repeat the same steps here that we did for the other diagonal arch. If you haven't already, check out my Instagram to see the finished shots of all of my builds as well as other smaller builds and tutorials that I upload several times a week. The link can be found in the description box below. Tidy up the walls and floors in this room if you need to and remove the middle 3 blocks in each wall. Then add some stone stairs across the top to turn these walls into rectangular arches. Inside these arches, add furnaces, blast furnaces and smokers. Alternatively, you can just stick to normal furnaces if you prefer. Add some more tables using stone brick stairs and add a lantern or torches to light up the space. Then place an anvil wherever you think it fits best and decorate using flower pots, sea pickles and item frames. And that is the enchanting and crafting rooms completed. We will now move on to creating the pond in the centre of the cave. To make the column look more natural, I'm making it larger towards the ceiling and smaller at the base where the water will be. I'm also smoothing out the edges and replacing any other blocks that may be present with stone. Then I'm just digging out a small area going around the base of the column to mark out where the pond will be. To make a natural looking pond, keep the shape circular but not perfect, and be sure to add some depth to the centre by gradually going down by 1 or 2 blocks. As it goes too close to the area of the cave that heads down, I'm just going to cover this up. If you do this too, be sure to light it up so that no mobs spawn down there. I'm now going to remove some more blocks from the column where it'll be going into the water to make it quite thin and overhanging here, along with a final layer of depth in the very centre of the pond. To add the water, it's best to start at the bottom and work your way up so that you don't miss any blocks that you'll then have to go back and refill to turn into source blocks later. After you've done this, add sets of 4 sea pickles to the deepest points of the pond to give it a nice glow. On the other layers, it gives it a nice effect to only add sets of 3 so that they aren't as bright. You can then use bone meal inside the pond to add seagrass and then add some lily pads on top for that final bit of detail. The pond adds a really nice contrasting colour to make it nicer on the eyes. You can then go back round and give some depth and character to the walls so that they aren't flat. This can be achieved by making the wall go further back as it gets closer to the floor and by removing the blocks in a more random but gradual pattern. This concept can also be applied to the roof by making it go further in towards the centre and by filling in any gaps or holes that may be present. To bring everything together, we'll now create some natural stone arches. Starting from the column, place stone slabs in a rough arch shape reaching to the other side but not coming back down. You can also use stone stairs to smooth out the edges. I'm going to repeat this again 2 more times. The arches shouldn't be identical and don't need to follow a particular formation. They're just there to add some extra depth and detail to the cave. You can also build them starting from the wall and reaching across to the column in the middle rather than the other way round. We will now start work on the other section in the cave. Make some steps leading up using andesite slabs and start clearing out some space for the next room. We will need roughly a 10 by 10 block area here to give us enough space to build the storage room. If you're enjoying the video so far, don't forget to leave a like and consider subscribing if you're new here. To create the storage area, place strip spruce columns with chests 1 block out from them as shown. Do this twice and at the back add a single chest facing outwards with a double chest 1 block back, then mirror the design around the other side of the room. Add 2 more blocks on top of the first column so that it's 5 blocks high. If you need to, clear out more space in the roof and fill in any holes. After you've done that, fill in any gaps behind the chests at the back and the sides of the room with stone, as well as any holes in the walls. You can also replace the other block types with stone to make it neater. Then build all of the columns up so that they are 5 blocks high and add 4 rows of chests between them, creating plenty of storage space. Now create arches going across the ceiling from one side to another using spruce stairs and slabs as shown, joined together in the middle with spruce trapdoors. You can also add trapdoors to the columns for extra detail. Create another arch on the next set of columns. This time it will be 2 blocks shorter, but make sure that the trapdoors in the middle are in line. Then do the same for the back 2 columns, joining them up to the others and connecting them in the middle with trapdoors. Add some spruce slabs on top of all of the chests to bring it all together. You can still open the chests because it isn't a full block. Finally, add some glowstone or another light source of choice in the middle with some oak trapdoors to finish it off. You can add some extra lanterns or torches if you want to as well. We will now move on to the bedroom. Opposite the storage room, dig out a room that is roughly 8 by 8 blocks. Again, this doesn't have to be perfect and we will be adding depth to the walls and ceiling again, the same as we did in the main part of the cave. If you have any feedback about this video or any other builds you'd like me to make a tutorial for, then let me know down in the comments section below or leave a like if you're enjoying the video so far. For the bed design, place 2 columns of stripped spruce logs that are 3 blocks high and 4 blocks apart. Remove any stone above this and add a spruce slab on top of each column and then come across to the other side with a simple arch as shown. Add some lanterns or torches for lighting and then remove a 4 by 4 block area in the floor and fill it in with spruce planks. After this, place upside down spruce stairs next to the columns with spruce planks and slabs in the middle to create tables and a headboard. Place 2 beds and then add a border of stone bricks around the spruce planks. Add some extra spruce stairs at the bottom of each column for more detail. At the side of the room, remove a block and place a spruce plank, then add a furnace, a crafting table and spruce slabs along the top as shown. Add a chest in the middle and then dig out some of the roof if you need to so that there's enough room to add some armour stands. You can use this to store backup armour, tools and resources, so if you respawn you'll have everything you need here. We can now move on to decorating the rest of the cave to make it look a lot more natural. I'm going to start by covering up the large hole in the ceiling with stone and smoothing out some of the walls around the steps. After this, I'm going to move on to adding leaves around the cave to make it look old and overgrown. The best way to do this is by randomly placing leaves, spreading across the roof and coming down onto the walls. You can also add some bushes on the ground connecting to the walls, as we will be adding to this shortly. When you're doing the leaf placements, think of how vines spread and wrap around things in real life and try to recreate that by bringing the leaves around the column diagonally, around the arches and across the walls and the ceiling. Do this all over the cave, not only to make it look overgrown, but also to add colour and life to the build. Taking the time to add the extra detail to your build, such as this, will make them stand out from others. You can also add patches of grass in some of the corners. For lighting, I've placed lanterns hanging from chains dotted around the roof or the walls, but you could use torches if you'd prefer. I'm also adding a bit of extra detail to the floor by replacing some of the stone with andesite and smooth andesite blocks. Adding a couple of different grey blocks into a stone floor makes it easier on the eye and also gives it a lot more depth. Mushrooms can also be added as decoration, as well as stone buttons placed on the walls, floors or ceilings to look like smaller rocks sticking out from the stone. Keep adding bits of decoration around the cave where there are areas that look empty. Another thing that you can do is add andesite walls on the ceiling or walls to look like rock formations hanging down. By combining all of these methods, you can create a cave that looks really natural and interesting. Just be careful not to overdo it, or it can become too much to take in and may all blend together. Using bone meal on the grass patches is a really quick way to bring it to life instead of it being flat. I'm now going to carry on using all of the methods I just spoke about to decorate the other rooms in the cave. I've kept the gap at the back of the cave open, as this can be the entrance to the mine and therefore doesn't need anything to be built in there. We can, however, smooth out the entrance, light it up and add some leaves reaching down into it. I'm also going to add some andesite slabs to create a step leading down into the mine. In the storage room, I'm going to place the leaves on the ceiling going in between the arches so that they don't block any of the chests. I'm then going to carry on the leaf pattern around the rest of the roof and add some grass patches in the areas that are looking quite empty. When you have a large open section of floor like I have here, you can add some wool blocks and carpets to create an interesting looking design that has more texture compared to it being flat. You can also replace a few of the blocks with andesite again to give it that extra bit of detail. I'm going to do all of this again in the bedroom, adding grass patches in the corners, leaves over the walls and the ceiling, and some lanterns dotted about so that it's nice and bright. After this, I'm going to add a few finishing touches and then we can work on building the entrance to the cave. At the entrance, add some stone and andesite slabs to create a staircase leading up to the surface if necessary. Do the same outside using stone and andesite slabs again to create a staircase leading to the entrance if you need one like I do. Smooth out the ground around it so that it blends in with the rest of the area. Then build a simple archway using stone bricks to mark out the entrance to the cave. If there are any gaps, fill them in with stone so that it all blends into the surrounding area, and that is the cave base completed. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video and it can inspire you to build something new. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like if you've enjoyed this video and consider subscribing if you're new here. If you're already subscribed, then press the bell icon so that you never miss a new video, and don't forget to leave any feedback you have in the comment section below.